Your sales pipeline, it's really the lifeblood of your company, right? It's where all your future revenue is bubbling up. But here's the thing. As sales teams start using these incredible new AI tools to get an edge, they are, without even realizing it, opening up a massive new door for attackers. So let's dive into how you can protect that pipeline from this new generation of threats.
And just a quick heads up for everyone, all the insights we're covering today come directly from Chapter 3 of the tutorial on AI data extraction threats, which was put together by the folks at Virtualization Options LLC. Okay, seriously, just pause and think about this for a second. What if your biggest rival, the one that keeps you up at night, knew every single deal you were working on? Your pricing, your discount strategy, every customer objection, the whole shebang. It's not just a data breach. It's a strategic nightmare come to life.
So here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll look at what exactly is at risk, the exposed pipeline. Then we'll peek inside the attacker's playbook. After that, we'll learn how to spot them, how to fortify our teams, and finally, what to do if, God forbid, a breach actually happens. All right, let's start with the prize. Why is your sales data such an absolute gold mine for attackers? Well, it's pretty simple. It's a direct line to your company's revenue. The core issue we're tackling here is what's called pipeline intelligence exposure. And listen, this is so much more than just losing a list of contacts. This is about a competitor getting their hands on the actual blueprint for your company's growth. It's your pricing, your forecasts, and most importantly, your customer relationships. And think about what that means. With this data, your competition doesn't have to guess anymore. They literally get a roadmap that lets them target your most valuable customers with surgical precision. They know exactly when renewals are coming up, and they know exactly how to undercut you. It's a devastating advantage. Just hand it to them. So how do they actually pull off this kind of data heist? Let's flip the script for a minute and look at it from the attacker's perspective. We're going to open up their playbook. And you might be surprised to find it's not super complex because it preys on the very nature of sales itself. We generally see 4 common attack patterns. First, you've got credential harvesting. Think about a phishing email that looks like an urgent request from a huge client. A responsive salesperson is going to click that every time. Then there's mobile device compromise. Your reps are on the road using unsecured Wi-Fi. It's a huge vulnerability. You've also got professional competitive intelligence services. Yeah, rivals are literally hiring firms to steal your data. And of course, the classic insider threat, that departing salesperson who thinks, hey, this is my pipeline data. And here is the really insidious part. Attackers weaponize the very personality traits that make a salesperson great. They exploit that built-in need to be responsive, to build trust super fast, and to operate in a high-speed world where a security check just feels like it's getting in the way of closing a deal. Okay, so now we know their playbook. How in the world do we spot them in the act? This is where we shift from offense to defense and start looking for the digital footprints they can't help but leave behind. What's fascinating here is that context is everything. For example, a huge spike in data access on a random Tuesday might be a red flag, but at the end of the quarter, that's just a sales team scrambling to hit their numbers. The real suspicious stuff is things like middle-of-the-night access from a rep who's normally 9 to 5, or those impossible travel scenarios. A login from New York, and then an hour later, a login from Singapore? No way. Or a massive data expert for a quarterly business review. That's normal. A massive export with 0 activity logged in the CRM? That's a huge warning sign. And that's exactly why this is so critical. You can't just look at security logs in a bubble. To do this right, you absolutely have to correlate your AI tool logs with your CRM data. That's the only way you get the business context to know if an activity is just part of a hot deal pursuit or if it's actually a data heist in progress. Okay, detection is good, but you know what's even better? Prevention. So let's get proactive and talk about fortifying your sales team. This is all about building up your defenses before an attack even gets off the ground. It really boils down to 4 key prevention measures, and the goal for all of them is the same. They have to be integrated right into the sales workflow, so you're adding a layer of protection without slowing down momentum. Let's break them down. First up, integrate your AI tools directly into your CRM. This stops reps from having to copy and paste sensitive data all over the place. Second, harden those mobile devices. Your sales team lives on their phones and tablets, so lock them down. Third, territory-based access control. A rep in California does not need to see the pipeline for Europe. This limits the blast radius if an account gets compromised. And finally, deal stage safeguards.
For those huge late-stage deals, add an extra layer of security. They are the juiciest targets after all.
Now this right here is absolutely key. When you're training your sales team on this stuff, do not talk about compliance. Nobody cares. Instead, frame security as competitive advantage protection. You have to speak their language. Talk about win rates, deal sizes, and hitting quota. Security isn't some boring requirement, it's a tool to protect their commission check and to crush the competition. Now that's a language every salesperson understands.
But let's be realistic. What if the worst happens? What if, despite everything, a breach occurs? This is where you have to pivot immediately to revenue damage control.
Your response plan has to be fast, and it has to be business-focused. This is no longer just an IT cleanup job. Step 1, assess customer impact. Which deals are at risk right now? Step 2, launch countermeasures. Maybe that means accelerating a deal to close it before your competitor can make a move. Or maybe it's adjusting your pricing on the fly. Then you've got to plan your customer communication and completely adapt your sales strategy. Because your old playbook, it's in the enemy's hands now.
And this is what makes a sales data breach so different. You know, a stolen credit card number is valuable for a little while, but stolen sales intelligence, it's got a ticking clock. Its value plummets to zero the second your competitor uses it to undercut your price or poach your deal. In this scenario, urgency isn't just important, it is everything. So to mitigate the damage to your revenue, your team has to switch from defense to offense, and fast. This means trying to accelerate those threatened deals to close them early. It means adjusting pricing on any opportunities that were exposed. It means immediately developing new competitive positioning. You have to get ahead of what your rival now knows and go into overdrive to protect your most high-risk accounts. So that brings us to the final and most crucial question you really need to ask yourself. Is your sales process, supercharged by all these new AI tools, a true competitive advantage that's driving you forward? Or has it quietly become a security liability, just sitting there waiting to be exploited? How you answer that question might just determine your company's future. Thanks for tuning in.